Gee, mini Christmas. I am thirsty. What's going on? How's your day treating you?
So far so good.
Where do you live?
I'm living in Nicaragua right now. I moved to Central America, I guess I'm going on to my fourth year, like fully being out here, but I started like going to Costa Rica, I think in it was like 2017, because for my winters, it's super cold in Canada where I'm from, in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So, and then eventually I was just like, oh, I just want to be out here full time. So just took the plunge. Here I am.
Oh, well, why Nicaragua? A lot of activity going down there now. I know, well, I shouldn't talk about it, but I still work for the government and a lot of things happening in Panama.
I was in Panama actually for almost a year. I just got back to Nicaragua like 3 or 4 months ago now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was in like Bastimentos, like close to Bocas del Toro.
Have you seen U.S. troops there in Nicaragua yet?
No, where are they going to be going into like the main um like city or
No comment. So, what's your story? Tell me all about yourself.
Okay, well, my story is just basically me how I got through like my 16-year like cocaine addiction, right? So I started doing cocaine when I was 19. However, like I started experimenting with drugs as early as 12.
Oh,
Marijuana
yeah.
was first, and then that kind of quickly manifested into trying other things. So like mushrooms, ecstasy, acid, and obviously alcohol was like mixed in with that.
Why did you stop?
Doing drugs.
Yeah.
Because I noticed like a huge change in like my brain and that, it wasn't just about the party anymore. Like I was using on my own and stuff. And like if I would like didn't like how I was feeling inside, I would just, want to get high and drunk to like take away all the uncomfortable feelings. And I didn't want that to be who I was. I didn't want that to be my whole life. And my father is still an alcoholic. And I saw how fucking shitty his life was and how much he like struggled and how much pain he was in. And I just didn't want that for myself. So that's when I started to go on the journey of recovery. It did take a few times, like to fully get out of it, but yeah, I wanted something better.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I never started. So I guess I have some catching up to do. But you're yeah, and that can be so hard, I guess. I mean, I would imagine harder on the family than the person doing the drinking. Having a father who drank.
Being cocaine addict, I opened up businesses. I was still going to school. Like I would volunteer. I showed up like at majority of the family stuff. Like it didn't really, I didn't,
I mean, having a father who was drinking.
yeah, no, it was really hard. It was, I mean, he was very much like absent, like a lot of my younger years, right? And he just really just cared about being drunk all the time. So that was super traumatic. And like I remember, one time my mom told us a story. He said he was going to get milk and he didn't come home for like 2 weeks. Like,
Wow.
mhm.
He must have really gotten lost.
Yeah, I mean, I have memories of me like sitting on the porch at like 5, 6 years old, waiting for him to come get us, and he just never showed, never called, nothing. And he would.
That must have been rough. Yeah, I can relate to that, unfortunately. But they didn't have Google Maps back then, so it was probably a lot easier for fathers to get lost on their way home.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make sense of this. So how do you get from America to living in well, really anywhere else?
Well, like I was in Canada and honestly, I didn't it started off where I just didn't like the winters. The cold was so hard. Like I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and our winters would get down to like minus 40 Celsius, minus 50 Celsius with these crazy,
Be-
pardon?
Ew.
Yeah, it was horrible. And um I couldn't function well, and it didn't make sense to me to be like just trying to get by um for many, many months, right? Like I like just doing everything possible just to not get like seasonal depression. And when I started working in an office, like it was even worse for me because I had been serving for years, and then like I had my own business for a bit, and then I went back to serving for a bit while I decided what to do next. And at least with serving, you're like moving around and you're talking to people all the time, and you have like more laughter in your day and interaction. And then when I started in an office position, like you're sitting at a desk all day, staring at a screen, and it was harder to be there, right? Like, and yeah, I started just going to Costa Rica, like I said, for my winters, and then eventually I just was like, I just want this to be my life. Like, I just want to every day to be summer. So yeah, so originally I'd moved to Costa Rica, and then I decided to come over to Nicaragua just to give it a shot. Ended up in Panama for a year, and then now back in Nicaragua. So yeah.
Were people like, you've got to come to Nicaragua? That's where it's really at.
Well, I had a friend who was living here for about a year, and I was in Costa Rica and kind of trying to decide my living situation that I was going into when I was there kind of blew up. So I was staying at a friend's house. But like it wasn't going to be a permanent thing. So I had to decide like, am I going to get another apartment here or should I try something different? And then my friend was like, well, just come check it out. Like, you know what it feels like to live in Costa Rica. I think you might like it here, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I did. Came over, and it's very different than where I was living in Costa Rica. And I liked how it was more like, I don't know, authentic to the country, right? Like where I'm living. Like I was in Tamarindo, which is called Tamagringo, like and here you live amongst the locals, and it's very intertwined, and I like that.
Well, so something I wanted to ask you about was a lot of people are struggling with depression, and I read that you did too, and that you were pretty much able to end it, as far as I could gather. So, what did you do to get rid of depression?
Well, first, I happened when I was like in Panama. We were living on a very, very small island. So, I mean, I tried everything I could there to get out of it, but the island was too small. Like, literally got like island fever. So, first thing I did was leave. I went back to Costa Rica for a month, and then I went back to Canada to be home. But um, I started learning more about like my body, I guess, like the nervous system, and really just buckling down and doing all these healthy things to be able to find the light again. Like it was hard. Like there like these neural pathways that formed in my head during the depression were pretty dark, so I had to rewire my brain again to like want to like be excited about life and enjoy moments. And I basically just like kind of forced myself to do stuff like be with family and try to create like more happy memories and just keep I exercise, like I did breathing exercises, like I just really just focused on trying to retrain myself back to like a version of me that I knew could be happy.
How did you rewire your brain other than the I caught breathing exercises, and like what else does a person do?
Really have to like actively change your thoughts. So like, I'd if I started having the dark thoughts about like, fucking life sucks, the world's a disaster, what's the point? Like I'd literally have to like stop them and then concentrate on things that are good in the world. Like, like I have a loving family. I'm healthy. Like, yes, I was going through a depression, but like I'm a healthy person, like, getting out in nature really helped. Like when feeling like that, getting out there and just being surrounded by nature and seeing the beauty of the world that's right there, I spent, yeah, just really, really having to stop the thoughts and put a better one in there. It takes time and it's hard because, you form these pathways that are just there now. So, but you can change them back. Like, and it took a few months, but I finally, like, I'm in a way better place now. Like it's like I'm like that version of me doesn't exist anymore that was depressed, like I still get sad, obviously, and angry at shit. Like my emotions are still there, but like I'm excited to get up again. And, like I just don't, I'm not in that darkness anymore, but it does take time. Like people have to really, really focus on changing how they're thinking.
So you focused on positive things in life rather than just going down the negative slope. You just do that again and again until
Creating like physical memories again, right? Like, cause I was like, mine happened because I was on the island and just and, like there wasn't anything to do and it was raining all the time. And it just like, I mean, there was stuff to do, but just not enough. And so I would go and I started doing things again. Like it felt uncomfortable, I'll admit, because I was stuck in this darkness still, and like my nervous system felt all out of whack. But I would spend time with people who loved me, and kids really helped. Like I have little nieces and nephews, so like being around them who are like, so light and happy and cheerful and like, use their imagination and just like getting back to that part of who we still are. Like we still carry our little selves within, right? So that was very helpful as well.
so this island, this was Costa Rica.
Oh, Panama. The island was
Oh, Panama.
Bastimentos where we were living.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't know Panama was an island. I'll have to go back to geography class. Yeah.
Islands on in Panama. We were on the
I
we
guess
were
so.
on the Caribbean side.
Oh, sounds like the fun side.
Like it was a beautiful place. Like honestly, like to visit, or I don't know, I just didn't have enough going on for me there, I guess. Like still, and yeah, but it was beautiful. I love going kayaking there. I loved going snorkeling, but overall to like have that as my full life, it didn't fit for me.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I had a friend who moved to Costa Rica. Well, he still does. He goes there, I guess, in the winters for a few months. He's got a place there. And I don't know why he started going there. Maybe tax reasons. That's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of the crypto people. But anyway, he had a really bad experience. He went to a Pirates of the Caribbean party. This was way back. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. Years ago. And he put on this red handkerchief like around his head, to look piratey, I guess. And at the end, after the party, he was walking home, and some gang members drove past him and spotted him, and basically kidnapped him. They pushed him into the back of this car, and they beat him like horribly. And at some point, like one of them got out his passport and was like, "Oh shoot, he's American." And so they kicked him out of the car, but they put a gun to his head and everything. Um, he thinks that they were taking him someplace to kill him. Apparently, there are gangs there that they wear different colors, and so like red was, I guess, this gang's rival gang, and bad move. So the moral of the story is, don't wear red bandanas in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's really scary. Bad stuff happens all over the world, right?
Yeah. So how is it that you're able to live there in Nicaragua?
Is
Do you,
that online? So
oh, so you work online, man? That's so awesome. So you can pretty much live anywhere. You can pretty much live anywhere then.
yes, that was one of my biggest goals. Like, I did not want anyone to like control my time. I had actually there it was like when I was about like maybe 21 or 22 and I was like working at some breakfast place. My boyfriend at the time needed to be rushed to the hospital because he wasn't feeling well. Turned out he had appendicitis. He was scared. He wanted me to stay there with him and all this kind of stuff. So I had like called in my work and told him I wouldn't be able to make my shift the next morning, and explained why. They called me back and told me if I didn't come, I was fired. And that just lit something up inside me. Like, how effing dare you tell me I can't be here for my loved one who was afraid? And that if I don't come in, you're going to fire me. Like, I hated that they threatened me and like, blah, blah, blah. So in that moment, I was like, no, I'm going to make it so that I control my time. I control when I work, how I show up, and no one's ever going to hold that power over me. That if I need to be there for someone or want to be there for someone in a good way or a bad way, like watching my nieces play, like if I when I was living in Canada, I wasn't going to have anyone be able to tell me if you don't show up, you lose your job. Like, so I made it a reality. Here I am.
That's the difference between a job and work. I talk about this all the time, and some people totally get it, and some people, no matter how I explain it to them, they don't get it at all. They just can't process. They're just like, they see everything as work. But I think most people like to work, and a job is not work. A job is like where, never mind whatever health things you have going on, what's happening with your family, you will show up and give people sausage biscuits from this time to this time, or you're not paying your car payment this month. And I mean, it just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. That's upstream effort. That's it's like it's slavery, but the reason it's not slavery is because you can choose who your master is now, and the conditions are much better. But it's still the same principle. It's like you go someplace you don't want to be and do something you don't want to do for a period of time that's unreasonably too long. They'll give you off just enough time to to pay your bills and run your errands, and then it's right back on Monday or whatever day. And if you really do like,
Like, who decided we
no,
should be working
it's
more
not.
than we're like playing and stuff? And like,
I did the math on this one time because a lot of people they'll talk about like what percentage you're at work and stuff, but if you subtract sleep, running errands, and everything that you have everything that you have to do, um, that takes up about 85% of your week. So you're left with 15%. So 15% can go towards family or learning a new skill or working on something that you want to work on. And the rest goes to your job and maintaining life in wherever you live, because there are things you got to do in order to live in the United States. For example, you got to pay your taxes and go to the DMV and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a really bad trade in my view. Is trading your time for money. 85% of your life goes to that, and then you're left with 15 for yourself and your family. Bad trade.
I agree. That's why I didn't want that. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And this is kind of why I I don't really follow people who are talking about there you can't have a population too big. So there are certain populations that are on the decline, and there's this some really nasty globalist agendas for like decreasing in population, and then people push back on that and say like, no, we need more people to keep the GDP where it is or even increase it. And there's arguments for and against population increase and population decline, but um, and I've heard really intelligent people say, well, you really just can't have too many people. There's a way to make it work, and but I think there's a difference between making it possible and making it enjoyable. So I think for every species, there is some kind of maximum number. I mean, there can't just be an infinite amount of, I don't know, bumblebees in the world. I mean, there's got to be a sweet spot. Like, sure, we want more bumblebees, but I mean, I've heard people say there just can't be, there's essentially no maximum for humans, but there has to be a maximum. I mean, we can't pave the entire world and have skyscrapers everywhere and figure out how to pump more oxygen into the air and feed people electronically on conveyor belts with the right nutrition capsule and everyone. We can actually have a job for everyone. I mean, that's not living to some extent. Like just having a job in a cubicle, then it's like, why, why be alive? Then we're essentially like the chickens in the little cage with only enough space to like move a couple of inches left and right, but we serve some kind of purpose, and that's called a job. But there's a big difference between a job and work because most people like work. One time I asked my coworkers, so if you could do anything you want on your off day, what would you do? Individually, I asked them on separate days. And my my one coworker Shane, I already knew what his answer was. He loves hunting, so he was like, "Oh, I would hunt. I would hunt all the time." I asked Jim, "What would you do?" And he said, "Oh, I'd be working in my garden right now with my wife. I love gardening. I do it Saturday and Sunday from sunrise to sunset." And he's like red from here down and white from here up, you know, from wearing a t-shirt and working in the garden. And and then I asked another coworker, and I he was like, "Oh well, I don't know. My day off, I would just have to do stuff for my kids and like take them to soccer practice." I'm like, "Okay, just imagine you can do anything you want. Like, what would you do?" And he's like, "Well, he thought about it. He said he likes fishing. He would probably fish. He would fish as much as possible." And if you were to ask me the question, I would probably teach. If I could do anything I want, and money were no object, and time were nothing, I would teach. And so you have, what are you left with? So it's like, what would you do? I would build. I love to build things. So it's like, what would you do? You would go hunting, fishing, work in the garden, build the house, teach the kids. It's like, at one point in time, that was life, and now that's vacation. That's what people do for a few hours on Saturday morning.
That's crazy. Well, we're definitely we're conditioned now to believe that this is the way that it should be. I mean, I have big ideas where I think people should be working like half the amount of time, getting paid triple the amount, and people need to stop increasing all everything that like what it costs to live. Like it's, like food costs in Canada is insane compared to here. Like I live, like it's like it is possible for things not to cost so much. And money is a made up thing. They could just freaking print as much as they want or change whatever. Like it's just like, I don't know. The whole system is just flawed. In my opinion. So
Yeah, it is made up, but well, the problem is printing. Like they print so much money and then it's not worth anything, and that's what inflation is. But something like 89% of the government's spending could probably not be spent. And then so
these politicians make is ridiculous. And even like a lot, like I mean, every like celebrities and Elon Musk, like they have enough money to solve all the problems in the world. Like it's just like Earth doesn't make sense the way it's set up. Like it's just a bunch of greedy people running the world. Like
that's selection bias. Yeah, self-selection bias. So are you familiar with this principle? It's like what sort of person, so who's going to run things in, you could say run the country or run whatever. well, the type of person who believes they should be the one running things is going to be the one running it, because so it's like they've self-selected themselves into these positions of power. So it's like, what sort of people are going to have power? The narcissistic sociopaths, of course, right? Because like I'm not trying to be president, because I don't care. But the people who are trying the hardest are going to be, and those are usually the most narcissistic people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The human species confuses me, like, as what, like, I don't understand why there has to be such horrible humans in the world. Like, why does, you know what I mean? Like, there's really bad things that other
Yeah.
humans do to other humans. And it's like, feels unnecessary for that to be a part of our existence here, you know?
Yeah, totally. And something else I thought of while you were talking, the inflation has gone up like so much more than the poverty line, that if you were to crunch like the actual numbers, the poverty line should be 140,000 a year. I was just watching somebody do the math on this. It's like if you make below 140, you're if you adjust for inflation, that's actually poor. What it used to be back in the day, and it's like 30,000 is like the real number or something, like the poverty line. I forget what it is, but they haven't moved it for a long time. But if they actually did increase it with inflation, it would be like 140,000.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so hard for people that, like you're talking about, bad people. Um, it's the limited mindset of like scarcity mindset. That's what it's called, scarcity mindset, right? Where like there's only so much, and so I've got to like gather it and keep it close to me. And so it's so easy for people to be like, okay, well I've got these millions, and quite frankly, that can just disappear pretty quickly if I continue doing this and that. So, oh, plus I've got kids, and then kids have college, so I should probably keep some millions for them. Oh, and then they're gonna have kids. So then it's like really easy to go down this slope of like, well, 10 million's not enough, 100 million's good. But then it's like, oh, geez, I'm doing the math in my head. 100 million is poor. I'm gonna have to like figure out how to get more. So it's a slippery slope. Even just, and that's also the way we denominate things like value now. It's a system much like self-selection bias. It's this system where um, the people who succeed at the money game are going to be the people that have what's called the striver's curse. So it's like the people who are striving beyond what's necessary and are never satisfied when they reach goals. Like, those are going to be the money people, and probably the less desirable people to spend your time with.
Yeah, I mean, this place has got a lot of issues, that's for sure. Right? Like, I mean, I've dealt with a bunch of different systems in cases of like family services and the mental ward, and even in like foster homes and things, like due to different things that I've come up with for other family members. And none of them seem to have things in place to really help people the way they need to be helped. It's something I've noticed. So, it keeps a majority of the human species in this like kind of just surviving state so that they're not able to reach their full potentials and possibly, you know, put the horrible people down a notch or two. Like, you know what I mean? Because if there's more, the majority of the people are just trying to get by, they'll never know what kind of like power they actually hold, you know?
Yeah, because so much of their time is sucked up, and then whatever free time they do have, it's like all you have the energy to do is sit down on the couch and go, ooh,
Hmm. Yeah.
decompress from all the stress and stuff, work stress and financial stress and medical stress.
Yeah. I don't know. Whenever I go back to Canada, like it's hard. it just feels like so chaotic sometimes for me, all the hustle and bustle, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is just the hustle. The hustle, because everything is like revolves around time, and that's what happens when we sell our time for money. It's like, well, I've only got a tiny portion of it, so I've got to maximize the efficiency of my free time. I've got 26 minutes to go to the grocery store and 32 minutes to drive home, 18 minutes to make dinner, 25 minutes to say hi to people, uh, do the laundry, whatever, go to sleep so I get 8 hours
Yeah.
and enough time to wake up to go to the gym before work.
I remember living like the life where it was so like boom, 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 boom. And it was I noticed like I wasn't in my moment, right? It was like I was just kind of trying to get it done so I could get to the next thing or like just like, not on purpose. Like it's not like I didn't want to be spending time with that person or whatever, but it was just like so much that you had like going on all the time where it just felt like you're just moving from one thing to the next thing to the next thing just to check stuff off. And then something in me, I kind of like had a little like meltdown. I was like, when does this stop? Like, when do you get to just enjoy and breathe and take your time? And I realized like the only way it was going to happen was if I made it happen. And so I started like reassessing all the things I said yes to, and like, I stopped going into the office every day and I would work from home because I could get the same amount of work done in 4 hours that I'd sit there for 8 because you're like distracted by this or you're talking with that or like, just like, I don't know. I just started changing things slowly, and because I didn't want to wait till I was 60 to be able to like, have time. And I even remember like one of the first things I was like, well, I hated being woken up by an alarm. So I was like, obviously, I'm not ready to wake up. Like I'm still sleeping. And then you push snooze a bunch of
Yeah.
times, which like is scientifically proven really bad for you. Like you actually wake up more tired if you keep pushing snooze. So I just trained myself to wake up between like at around 5:30 a.m. So it took me about 3 weeks, but I to this day, it's been like years and years now, but like I don't set an alarm unless I'm catching a plane somewhere. Like my body automatically wakes up anywhere between 5:30 and 6:30. And yeah.
Same. I haven't set an alarm for years, maybe a decade.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a decade. It's been a long time, maybe a little less, but yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love that I can just go to bed and know that like when it's time, my body will wake up, and it's never like, I'm oversleeping anything. I wake up, I have multiple hours to like take the morning slow so I can, get a workout in, go for a nice walk, have a nice breakfast before I have to sit down and start working on my computer, you know what I mean? So it feels really good.
Not sleeping enough is probably the most unhealthy thing a person can do. It's when you're sleep deprived, you're essentially dying, like while you're awake. I mean, your body's dying, and then like when you're sleeping, your body is living again and regenerating. Um, so getting enough sleep. I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing is like I think people used to always do that. I think they would just like lay down when they were tired and wake up and get up when they weren't anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, people
These
used to get up
clocks.
like kind of sleep with the schedule of the sun, right? Like it start, they slow down their day at the end of the night, they fall asleep, and then when the sun starts to rise, they start getting up again, right? Like there's a word for it.
Yeah.
Somatic? Is that the word? No.
What's the word? What?
I think there's a word when you like kind of like go by the schedule of the sun, like somatic. Is that the word? No.
That sounds good enough to me.
Cool. Uh,
I try to go to bed early. People make fun of me all the time, but I'm like, listen, I got someplace to be 9 hours from now, so I'm gonna lay down now so that I can get as much of that sleep as possible. I don't care what's going on. It's not cool enough to stay up for.
I live that life. I used to go to bed at like 5 a.m. Now I wake up at 5 a.m. So
Yeah, amen. Yeah, there probably is something healthy about that. I was watching a lot of Andrew Huberman, and he's a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology, and so he studies like the connection between the eyes and the brain, and the sunlight's effects on how our circadian rhythms and things like this, our hormones, our endocrine functions. Um, Really interesting stuff, but there's some science behind it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Waking up, being awake during the sun. And there's like people who do shift work nights, like that's killing them. They don't realize it, but it's like it's killing them. I think your life expectancy goes down if you work night shifts.
well, I mean, look at doctors. This is a wild fact to me. Like scientists who are doctors have proven that if you are up too long for too many hours at once, your brain starts to act like you're drunk. Yet the doctors like are up or on shift, for 36 hours sometimes and like operating on people and trying to like take care of very sick people. And I'm like, you guys are the ones who did the research. Like, get your shit together. Like, don't take care of yourself so that you can like it's just wild to me. Like my sister's a surgeon and I just feel so bad like for the way that their schedules are. Like it's just horrible for her, like.
It makes no sense at all. I mean, I understand like you have traumas in the middle of the night and you need somebody to cover that, but not the same people all the time getting stress tests. And that's part of being a doctor is like the initial process is they keep them awake for really long periods of time to see like if they can deal with it, I guess. I don't know. But you in some sense you never recover from sleep deprivation, and the army does the same thing. I don't know why it is. It's really stupid. This is why like the US Army is not the best army in the world. They every time you take a course, it's not just the initial training where they sleep deprive you. Anytime if I were to right now say to my commander, hey, I want to go to whatever this school and learn this skill at the army, I don't know why, but they always sleep deprive you at that course. Let's say it's a 2 week course. They just make it so that you can't sleep. And that's the worst way to learn a new skill. You're not going to retain as much information. You're not you're not going to perform as well as you should. I mean, really just like your memory sucks. And I've left a lot of those programs like I can remember like one sentence of what I learned there, but that's about it. And then even like the job itself is involves so little sleep, and then people in the military wonder why they're unhealthy and they wonder why suicide's so high. It's like, oh, well, you're taking people away from their families for 11 months at a time and not prioritizing social activities, and they're sleep deprived, and they're supposed to be physically fit but you don't give them time to exercise, like, and you feed them shit food. Yeah, I can't think of what is going wrong here. It's like not a it's just a no-brainer. I was listening to someone the other day. It may have been the secretary of the army. I don't know, I forget his title, but anyway, they were talking about like how important the suicide thing is to them. Oh, it's so important. We're doing everything we can to reduce the amount of suicide among service members, which is ridiculously high. Um, but it no, they're not doing anything at all. They're doing everything except for the most obvious things. I'm sure it feels like they're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm sure they have meetings about it all the time. I'm sure that they have memos that they put out. I'm sure that they they get together once a week, twice a week to talk about it. I'm sure that they're writing new policies all the time, and it feels like they're doing a lot, but like they're doing everything except for the most obvious things. It's not a difficult thing. It's not a hard equation to figure out.
Makes you question like their motives and why they like. I mean, people know what you need, the basic things that you need to be healthy and to be strong mentally, emotionally, physically. Like this isn't like, it's the information is right at their fingertips, and these are, high profile doctors and psychologists, I'm sure, that are working. It's like, why are they not doing the basic things? Like, why are they not doing what is the most obvious? Like, like it's doesn't make sense. you know?
Yeah, totally, totally. And at least doctors have some kind of paycheck to look forward to. But the other thing in the army is like, well, they're also going to pay them as little as they can possibly get away with without hearing people complain or like raise a stink. And while yeah, the contractors and politicians who have stake in the companies that are doing the contracting, they're making hundreds of millions, and it's like but they're paying the servicemen and women as little as humanly possible. No work life balance. I mean, that's a quick summary. It's like improve the work life balance. You probably improve morale. Like, duh. All right, cool. Oh, we can wrap it up then. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Oh, I think we had a really cool conversation. This was fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much, Mandy.
Good day.